Yo yo, it's your boy J Urban Music, and today we're gonna make some dope remixes. Let's go! No, but for real, today I'm gonna show you how I actually remixed a pop song by Nesbit called When You Lose Someone into a EDM remix. I think it would be pretty cool to show you the process of me making this remix, because originally it used to be a pop acoustic kind of song without any drums and everything, but I made it into a EDM club banger, and I think it would be really exciting for you guys to see how I made it. So let's stop talking and let's get to the remix. So here we are. That's the project. You can see I put my original song in the top, and then I just made an acapella out of this. I've already showed it in the previous video. So here's what I've been using to get an acapella out of the song. So once I did that, I got the separate file and I just threw it in here. That was one file here. And yeah, let's quickly hear the original.
I thought it'd only be a moment, like a night of summer rain, but it's like a once, and I don't know if it burns and it hurts till it eats you alive.
So as we can see, it's a simple pop acoustic song, but I decided to make something different out of this. So let's mute this one. I've decided to just go straight right into the verse without the intro. So here's what I did.
I thought it'd only be a moment,
I slowed this down a bit. I think original BPM was a bit higher, so I lowered it a bit down, stretched it.
I've been trying to recover. I put you to the back of my brain. Now I'm just trying to remember you in the best way.
So I start with the chords first. So this song is in C minor. Here's what we have for the chords. And I have the EQ on it, cut the low frequencies, added a bit in the mid or low mid, and then threw in murder melodies. Just added a bit of spread and ensemble and dimension. Just something for effects to make it more interesting. And of course the reverb with the simple settings. It's a pretty simple pad, to be honest. And on top of that there is a Reese bass. Pretty much with just EQ, and then it goes to this channel with the bass. And there is a I Heart New York thing, VST. It's just parallel compressor, just for extra punchiness, I think. Professional right here. So that's how they sound together, and then there is a percussion loop just for Super Staro pack, and there's a bunch of effects there. There's a delay, reverb, EQ in the end, and EQ in the beginning. Wow, this is how it was before and then after. Kind of like underwater vibe, if you say so. Yeah, so just the intro.
Like a night of summer rain, but it's like a landslide of emotion.
Just a simple 8-bar. There's a second part of the verse here. I added one more perk. Just some shaker. But again with some reverb and EQ. And then of course there's a snap. Lots of orchestral drums, which I like doing that quite a lot. See, they're all from Kashmir sound pack. And they're all in one channel here with the reverb.
I've been trying to recover. I put you to the back of my brain.
And I did some transitions, you see.
I've been trying.
And of course in the beginning, just some cymbals, pretty simple down filter. And then we're transitioning to the bridge part. Here's where it gets interesting.
This way.
So here's what we have here. Pretty cool chords. I think I have just nothing crazy, just saturator, EQ, and then brighter one knob. And there's a bass, kind of like slap house bass. Pretty groovy though, eh? Gotta give me that. And then there's a EQ for the bass. Oh, it's for the keys, for the chords. See, it's growing. Here's a tip for like pop, EDM music producers. You gotta make sure you automate as much as you can. Like, you see, here's what I have. Endless smile for the drop. It adds some reverb, and just in the end it just drops. See? And of course some just effects, like there's a build-up drum. I'm not gonna solo it, but you get it. Then I added a bit of a gap, and then just started again in the chorus. So let's hear the chorus. Oh, right. Before we hear the chorus, in the bridge part, there's this part. I go from feeling loved, feeling everything I was. I just lowered the pitch and format by using Manipulator, which is a really great plugin if you do lots of like voice alterations, like pitch, format. Like if you want to do like Black Bear kind of sound, this is the plugin you should use. I highly recommend it. It's by Infected Mushroom. You guys should definitely check it out and play with it. And if you're really feeling that you want to play around with the sound, with the vocals, you just you can automate it and it would sound pretty cool. Like as I said, Black Bear kind of voice, this is it. It's very subtle in the mix, but still. Then transition here. Okay, let's go. So there is a chorus here, and I just simply cut it. There is a normal vocal, lower part, and the higher is the pitched. For this one, I decided to just miss this one, but there is a low pitched one, which is pretty cool. Sounds nice. Now we see what we have in regards to vocals in this mix. Let's go see what do we have in the chorus for the sounds. So in addition to the chords before, we added a brass hit. Just simple big brass stab. And then we go into the bass. I layered it heavily, and I quite recommend that a lot. There's a sub bass. Pretty simple, one lane. You can see I cut it a little bit to add some groove, but not in the sub bass, which is important. I don't really like to have punchiness in the sub bass. And then there's one more bass. A bit of like acid kind of sound with more highs. And then there is one more. You get it. It's a little bit different. It's called Pulse. It's a bit of like a deep house kind of sound preset. And here's how they sound all together. You can definitely hear now all of them together, but before, like in the whole mix, you can't really separate them by each sound. But now that you've heard it, you probably can separate them. And there's one more chord. That's my favorite. I like cutting them like that. And as you can see, like I only use serum in this project, which is pretty cool. It's not all the time when I get to do it, but in this project it was perfect. Like most of the time when I do my remixes, I use serum because it has lots of EDM kind of sounds, and you can automate it quite a lot. And then there's one more in the second part of the chorus. Sounds really cool. I'm sure you understand. And here's what it's called. Let's remove. Here's how it sounded before. Pretty plain, like pluck kind of sound. And then I added EQ. Cut the lows, added highs. Then there is a pretty cool part called Eco Boy. I used the inverse swing 16ths preset in here. I use it quite a lot. It's kind of like my secret sauce. And it adds this and like a groove, like a delay, but more of a groove into the song. You can see how it delays. So yeah, that I highly recommend using that, but please don't copy my style. Thank you. And then there's OTT. You know how OTT works, just some like compression kind of sound. And then reverb. Pretty big reverb, to be honest. And but it sounds really good together. Just for the second part, because I wanted to add something different to the second part of the chorus. And then there is a top loop, 2 extra top loops in the chorus part. Pretty simple. Let's hear it all together with the kick and the clap, and then there's one more loop. Like a house loop, but I really like it. So let's hear it all together. I left this part intentionally. It sounds kind of cool. I don't know. And then second verse. I left another gap, by the way, for the second verse, just so it's not like sudden change from the chorus to the verse.
It comes and goes like it's a season, but the clouds are...
I added a kick there. It's pretty much the same verse, but it goes straight with it goes right away with like snap and orchestral drums, and there is a kick part pattern. Just very soft, like chest kind of kick.
It comes and goes like it's a season, but the clouds are always gray.
It sounds pretty cool all together with the orchestral drums, I think, with the soft kick. And pretty much same thing in the second bridge. I don't think I've added something extra, you see. Exactly same. Right, this second pattern that I showed you in the second part of the bridge, this one. It's also in the, it goes right away with that one. You see this, it's missing here, it's not missing here. That's the only difference in the second chorus. Kind of weird. And yeah, that's the end of the song. Like there's no intro, there's no outro. That's the remix. I didn't want to add intro because sometimes when people are listening to the song, they just get bored in the intro part. So I thought, why having the intro when you can just go straight into the song? Why keep them waiting? So now we know what kind of effects are on the different channels for the different sounds. Let's see the master channel. But before that, let's go see what's on the drum channel. So there's just EQ for the low cut, and then drum shaper, DS10 drum shaper. I use it in my every mix, and I highly recommend using that. It just adds some attack and sustain and mojo. Who the hell knows what mojo is? Probably just the mix thing, like how hard you want it to go. So I just had it on like 4 or something. It still works really good, and I make sure it's on the bass, not kick and snare, just on the bass. But you can definitely use it on the kick or snare separately. So let's go to the master. So there is a tornado as usual, but I don't think I've used this one. It's just some effects I play around with. It's macro to the MIDI keyboard, and the endless smile, and I've already showed you this here. And I only use it for the build-up part and the bridge part that goes to the chorus. It's just for the build-up basically. And there's a master EQ. I don't really use it, it was off, I'm not gonna lie. And then there is a Saturn, just magic mastering as usual. Pretty subtle, like I think it was somewhere here, I was playing around with it. Then I just threw in a zone on top of that, just simple equalizer, dynamic EQ and maximizer like this. Pretty simple, to be honest. I didn't really play around too much with it. But when I do work on like a custom production, custom remixes for my artist, I do make sure that I don't use a zone here. I actually bounce everything out to a separate project in my Studio One DAW, and I just mix and master the whole project there. So I don't really use FL Studio for mixing and mastering, only for like the for fun remixes, maybe just some of my beats. But I still highly recommend artists to mix and master their song after they record it. I hope it makes sense though. And then there's as usual tonal balance control, just for the overall mix control. And then Yulin loudness meter, which is pretty cool. You can see the loops. Let's see what we have here. Love somebody you love. Loops, alright. What's that about, you might ask me? What I like to have in my loops, it's between -9 to -11. I know that Spotify and YouTube, they prefer you to have it like -14, -16 or -12. But I actually like in the dance music, EDM and pop music, I actually like to push it a little bit more. They can, like Spotify and the other music platforms, they can cut and like limit whatever your song is, but it's gonna sound loud. I know mix and mastering engineers who mix and master at -14, which is a standard, but the song sounds very quiet, and I just don't like it. And I know lots of EDM producers, they master the shit out of their songs basically. So I hope it makes sense. Alright guys, I hope you like this one. If you want to see more videos of me remixing stuff or doing music production or just providing some kind of tutorials, that's the better word, just let me know in the comments and I would be happy to do that kind of video for you guys. And as usual, please like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next videos. Boo! Boo! Ew! Do! Test, test. Working. Let's go.